a big city without any traffic. That's Zootopia, but it felt damn close to it last time I was in Copenhagen, and I'll tell you why. But first I want to say hello to my fellow Team of Life people and to all you new ones. This is not just workout. My name is Martin. This is the channel where we talk about everything Team of Life related. So I was recently in Copenhagen with my family, and my girlfriend wanted to see the National Museum because she had never been there. She is even raised almost close to, but her family was not that museum kind of going family. So I took her there. I took her in to see the National Museum, the national treasures. It is a great thing to experience one's national treasures. And one thing that struck me while we was in there was almost no cars. Of course there's cars. It would be a lie to say there's no cars in Copenhagen, but it was damn close to it. But before we dive into how that is even possible and what experience it is to walk around in a city with almost no cars, we took the train in there. And this is one of the reasons there are so few cars in Copenhagen, is that people like me who have access to a car, it is not our car, but we have access to it. We take in the train because it's cheaper, because parking in Copenhagen, that's way too expensive. It can be roughly around 60 to 100 euros or dollars to park an entire day in Copenhagen if you hit the wrong spot. I know a couple of great spots in there, so it would be possible for me to park almost free or free if there's a room for it. But it's not always a room, and then you end up parking in the expensive parking house, and oh, it's so expensive. So we took in the train because it's much cheaper. In a rough calculation, taking in the train to Copenhagen cost the same as taking the car, only in fuel price. And then on the car there is the added charge of parking in Copenhagen and the added hassle of finding a parking spot and all this kind of thing. When I take the train, I go directly from Slagelse station to Copenhagen Central Station. I'm in the middle of Copenhagen. Everything is in a walkable distance, and it takes roughly the same time. So yes, of course we take in the train because we can do it for the same price. Once we hit Copenhagen Central Station, it is a 10-minute walk down to the National Museum, after which we took a walk around Copenhagen. And it struck me that when I was growing up walking those same streets, there were congestion so far the eye could see. But now we were lucky to see some cars in there. Of course, it wasn't in rush hour we were in there. If we were walking in the rush hour traffic, there would have been a lot more cars. It is not that there were no cars, it is that it was peace, it was calm. There were a lot of people walking, there were bicycles. It was actually quite traffic. The only thing is there were so few cars. And this is because Copenhagen is built up of great transportation, the right transportation for the right area, almost. Of course, Copenhagen is also getting a light rail, as so many other big cities. In Denmark, we have 2 cities already, and Copenhagen will be the 3rd with a light rail in 2025. So it's just around the corner. But we also have a metro system. The metro system is very well built. It is built to cater to the center of town. But what about the suburbs? Well, we have the S trains and we have the buses out in the suburbs. We even have something resembling a BRT, bus rapid transit system, through Copenhagen. So there are the right transportation, and you can get almost everywhere by bus, train, metro. And that is one of the keys for the success of Copenhagen, the success of having so few cars. The other one is wide bicycle roads, or bicycle lanes, call it what you want. It is separated from traffic. You are not driving out in traffic, you're driving on a dedicated, separated bicycle path. Besides that, bicycles are not allowed on the sidewalk, and they should never be allowed on the sidewalk in any city. That is at least my opinion, because bicycles, like if they hit a pedestrian, it hurts like. If they hit an old lady, they actually risk making her an invalid. They risk so many things by taking chances. So by having great bicycle infrastructure, bicyclists take fewer chances. They don't hit pedestrians, they are not hit by cars, because they have their own space to be. So great bicycle infrastructure, but that's not all. There's also great pedestrian infrastructure. It is such a walkable city. We walked around for around 2 or 3 hours in Copenhagen, which actually was a great workout, and why I am such an advocate for walking around, experiencing a city. When I took my watch and looked at it at the end of the day, we have walked around 25,000 steps, and we have had our pulse elevated, or I have had my pulse elevated for 1.5 hours. Instead of those minimum 30 minutes, I had an added 1 hour, which is such a great thing, because that is an added health boost. So just walking around, experiencing city, looking up on the buildings, seeing, oh, those beautiful buildings, going through the green areas. And I will cover why Copenhagen are one of the least stressful cities in another video. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and click that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I have a new video. But let me round it up by saying that Copenhagen is an experience you should experience. And I will of course be going more in depth with Copenhagen and one of the successes, because there are also a lot of things that are not a success and a lot of things that has been tested out where we just say, oh. And right now I'm working on a video on how the Copenhagen transport system actually elevates the level of health for people living in and around Copenhagen, because it has so many great things to offer, and those who actually use it have an added health boost. Science have shown us that. If you want to know more about raising your level of health, then watch this video on why technology can be your friend when you're out walking. Until next time, keep raising your health. Bye bye.